Good morning and good afternoon, dear friends. Welcome to our tips and tricks training session. The goal of these meetings is to make sure you're aware of all the platform options that suit your workflow and can use the platform to its full potential. And today's topic will be dedicated to trademark watching. For those of you who maybe do not know me, my name is Nina Stepanchuk. I'm head of support at Markify and subject matter expert for Markify products, and I'll be the one taking you through this session today, together with my best teammate, Anastasia Rudkovska. Let's have a look at the agenda for today. To begin with, we'll speak about Trademark Watch setup process and tips that will help you optimize the scope of monitoring. This section of the webinar will cover new options for Boolean input, bulk import, and other aspects of the process. Moving on to the reports part, you will learn how to configure the view with the desired components and how to pre-save filters. We will also cover the earlier feature that allows viewing previously reported results and blacklisting option that will soon be released. We'll also look at the POCA score indicator for watches and reports merge feature. Further, we'll speak about the cases where you might want to include the services with pre-selection for your watch report. The session is about to last approximately 30 minutes and we'll wrap up with your questions, so feel free to add them to the chat as we proceed with our webinar. As many of you know, a lot of new features for Markify come directly from your feedback. So besides questions, we'd like to hear your suggestions for improvement and for new features. And if you have any ideas for future tips and tricks topics that you would like us to cover, please share those as well. So now let's get started. When you create a trademark watch, in the Trademark Watch Manage section of your navigation, there are only three things that you must fill out to activate it. It's the trademark name or logo, database, and classes. You can see them in orange here on these two screenshots, two examples. But in addition to these mandatory fields, we also provide several optional parameters that help you structure and manage your portfolio much more efficiently. These are the ones in blue that you can see on the slides. Client label is a great organizational tool. You can use it to group watches by client names, references, numbers, or some internal categories. Later, you can filter both your portfolio and your reports based on these numbers, on these labels. We have also recently released an extended version of this client label input that allows to store customers' contact information. And we'll cover this in a bit more detail in the next slides. Then internal comment or internal note over here allows you to store extra information about the watch, like case numbers or any other additional information that you would like to see. Then you can decide whether this comment should be visible in the report or remain internal only. Exception rules give you the ability to limit or refine the scope of the results, such as excluding your own trademarks or only receiving results with certain spellings. About this one, we'll also talk in a bit more detail later. And the auto renewal option makes sure that monitoring continues automatically at the end of the subscription. So if it's turned off, the system will send reminders so you can manually renew, or you can trust the automated process with us. And finally, the auto email rule lets you set up how your reports are delivered, either per individual mark or per client label. Results would go directly to the right recipients without any additional manual steps from you. There also is some additional, there are additional data fields that you can see after clicking on custom columns link that you typically have about your results spreadsheet. The menu that opens then allows you to rearrange and enable the columns that are of interest to you. Some of the interesting features that you do not see by default when you go to your account today, unless you enable specifically through these custom columns, is the Boolean watch input that we'll cover further on, And also there you have a feature called WIPO national level alerts, where you can define whether you would like to be informed once the WIPO mark is later published on the national level or not. Actually, by default, it is switched on. So this is what you are all receiving today, but if not preferred, you can switch it off. So that tool and custom columns menu gives you additional possibilities if you just take a look there. Some rather basic but important nuances about the setup are related to databases and classes selection. As for the database, when you have a multiple country watch, we usually recommend our customers to select one of the available packages because it will be more cost effective than selecting individual databases one by one. You will also learn later today how to filter out unnecessary databases from watch report if needed, if maybe your package covered a wider set of countries. As for the classes selection, here's what you have on the screenshot to the left. I would like to point out the little checkbox at the bottom of the menu that configures the watch to include identical and highly similar results from all classes. This keeps the result set balanced, as it would provide similar results for classes of interest that you actually select above this menu, but there will still be an alert for an identical mark in any other class filed or published. And then also on another note, if you need to adjust multiple watches at the same time, for the editable fields, you can use bulk edit option. You just select the ones that you would like to adjust, and then you will see this menu as here on the screen. So it helps to quickly update watches client label information, databases, if those trademarks watches have not yet been activated, then also classes, comments, even exception rules, and you can use it like that. The tool also provides various filtering options. Here you have just a little section on the screenshot or at the right bottom corner actually, and you can look up information by name, number, internal comment, or other watch parameters. Moreover, there is an option that allows seeing watches that are about to expire, so that can be used for an effective portfolio management. Moving further, this is usually a big topic always with our customers. When we work with combined marks, those with both text and visual elements, Markify actually uses two separate algorithms. The word mark algorithm analyzes spelling and phonetics, and the image algorithm looks at shapes, structure, style. At the same time, it does not read the text. This is important to remember. And then, because each algorithm focuses on a different component, we, in most cases, recommend setting up two watches when both parts of the trademark are distinctive. For example, when the text is stylized or it is integrated into the logo. This is what you see on this first part of the screenshot here, as we would typically recommend to set up two watches, for examples like this. Of course, the ultimate decision is up to you, but this is what we see work well for our customers. However, if one component is not distinctive, like a very plain text element, maybe this black and white classical font scripts on a logotype, then setting up one word mark watch is usually enough, as it will give you better results and reduce unnecessary noise. So this is what you have on this lower part of the screenshot here. We also sometimes are asked whether it is necessary to crop the text out of a logo, or actually whether there is needs to crop the logo in general. Here you see a little part of the functionality that allows you doing that when you upload the logotypes during the watches setup. The short answer to this question is usually you do not need to. The algorithm processes full composition. You might crop only if a long generic slogan dominates the logo and you want the image algorithm to focus purely on the visual symbol. But the text, if important, should always be watched separately, since the image algorithm will not perform OCR. Now, this part is quite subjective, to be honest. Again, the decision is up to you, but just to give you a little bit of recommendation here, if you look at these two logotypes that I'm pointing out right now here on the screen, We would likely recommend keeping this jobble text together with the rabbit logo, unless, of course, you would like the algorithm to really focus on the rabbit part only. But for this Excel logo, it's a bit more complex here. There are more textual elements, and those are more generic. So you can think whether they are worth keeping or not. As said, you have the cropping feature if necessary. Generally, to say the key rule is rather simple. Focus on what is actually distinctive and what makes the trademark recognizable is your best guidance. So here we can take a look at one of the recently added features that we call extended client label. This is the one that I mentioned briefly before. So now when clicking into the client label field, you can not only insert the company name that you usually see at the top here, but fill out all of the company's information, recipient details, as well as the responsible person for the watch. Some of our clients already started using this responsible person field for assigning watch tasks to different people on the team. Of course, watch reports can then also be filtered by this parameter. This is especially useful for cases when you use one Markify account to store your entire portfolio, and then different partners are looking at the watches. Moreover, if you fill out recipients' email addresses, then after reviewing watch reports, you can send emails to the end users in a few clicks. The system will distribute watch notices according to the information in your client label. That would be the option that you can use in this case, multiple email per client. This is when you configure your report content. And then before sending out that email, you will see a preview that allows a good control of the process. Actually, you see what it is that you will be sending out. You can even click here on preview email body and see the content that will be part of your email. By default, these emails are sent from service@markify.com email address, but it's also possible to set up a connection between our servers, and email would be directed through your dedicated email box. So that is also possible to organize. On another hand, the previous process was still quite manual when you review the report and you select the content to be sent. This other option that we're looking at right now is for an automated delivery, and it is handled through the auto email rule feature that works well in two main scenarios. When you want to send watch results directly to a list of recipients without prior review. This is a setup quite often preferred by law firms who let clients review results themselves before highlighting anything of concern. Or also it could work if you want to receive results internally first, allowing you and your colleagues to check them before taking further action. This approach is useful for both law firms and corporate teams. So the auto email rule can be configured on the manage page in the last column on the right. Clicking set rule button opens a pop-up window where you can choose the level of details, what informations we'll be sending, add custom branding for the report so it can have your logo, your contact information, and then you can configure the email rules setting. This is actually the only part of the screenshot that is here on the screen because it's quite big. So there, when you do that configuration, you can define whether the rule will apply to a single watch, just to a specific trademark, or to the whole client label. Then there will be one email per client or per group, as you can see here on the screen. You can also set the email frequency, which will be weekly, monthly, or every other number of weeks. This affects only the timing of emails, actually, so not the actual report generation. Multiple weekly reports can be merged for this purpose if you want the email to go out less frequently. This is where the option is. And then usually there is a basic template with standard layout of Markify fields where you can select what to include which columns should be there. This is the section that you have here. Alternatively, you can apply a custom HTML template with your own adjustments if you want. And there is also a section to customize email subject, so you can define what it will say. It's helpful usually to include there the name of the watch, maybe the recipient name also, just for easier navigation. And then, of course, you can modify who are the recipients of the email. By default, you can include several of them, splitting them with comma. And actually, you have an overview of emails log when you need to recheck whether the email has been sent already or not yet. So you have full control of the process there. Next, we move on to some of the functionalities that allow refining or fine-tune the scope of the Wordmark watch. There are two tools that you have for that: exception rules and Boolean input. Exception rules that we have first here on the slide help you restrict results, while Boolean input gives you more flexibility. And there you can both restrict or broaden the results that you receive via Trademark Watch. Exception rules act like an additional filter on top of the algorithm, allowing you to specify the following things. And here we can start taking a look at the screenshot. Only include results with the following spelling. The first option that you have here. This one is wildcard sensitive. So if you just type in the keywords, they are treated as standalone words. But if wildcards are used, as I have here on this example, it means that longer phrases, compounds, words with additional characters can be captured as well. Please keep in mind that we need commas to split different terms. And then you can see this little echo example on the screenshot. Returned results for this watch will be limited just to 3 spellings that are listed. So this is the only 3 cases that we can receive with this Trademark watch. At the same time, it is important to keep in mind that potential result initially depends on the algorithm similarity. So it should be similar enough according to the algorithm, and then exception rules are treated as an additional filter. So it will not pull a wider set of results. It does the opposite thing. It narrows them down. And if you would prefer the opposite thing to be happening, wait till the next slide. There we'll have a bit more control of what is happening, although this option is a bit more straightforward, I would say. Then you have options to exclude results containing a certain spelling. This one is pretty straightforward, I believe. Next one is only include results that together with the watched mark also contain something. Actually, this is the 2 setups, the ones that I have on the screenshot, that go hand in hand. They are used in combination for creating a certain alternative. So the screenshot here, in fact, instructs the system to only show the results that have some sort of echo together with line, those specific variations in different combinations that we listed here. So potential results would be narrowed down to echo line, line echo, and other results like that. Then you have a section that allows adjusting what happens in terms of owners and representatives with that. You have one here, match results with owner name not containing the exact phrase. So here you list the owner names. What is important to remember that it looks up direct matches only. So it is important to list all the possible variations or alternative names if there are those. Here you can see a little example. Then it could be sort of an automatic matching if you tick the checkbox to exclude results where watched mark and result mark have identical owner name. In that case, we will look at what is written in the client label option. So again, if in the client label you have the applicant name and the similar one, the same one actually, could be potentially in your results, we'll be excluding it. If the spelling differs a little bit, then you can rather go with really specifying all the spelling using the option above. And the one below is to only have results with representative not containing certain phrase. So those can also be excluded. To sum up here, exception rules are a great way to clean up irrelevant noise, but they always narrow down the output. Nothing that is excluded can be brought back afterwards, unless, of course, the week later you adjust the setting and those applied changes become effective from the following week. This is the way it works. Now, the next slide shows you the new functionality. So this is something that many of you might not be aware of. Boolean input is more advanced and allows you to build a structured query for the watch. It can be used in two modes. Here you have them, algorithm plus Boolean. In this case, algorithm, Markify original algo, will find similar marks, and then Boolean input would add more to this list. Or if you use Boolean only, then your query becomes the main rule instead of the algorithm. So we are skipping the algo-driven results entirely, just taking the Boolean query there. So this tool is more flexible because it can expand your scope or narrow it down, whichever way you prefer. Also, maybe at this point, it is good to mention, this is where you have this tooltip here. You will not typically see it by default. This is where we need custom columns. So if you're interested to try it out, please click the custom columns link, and then you will tick this option in the list of possible columns, and you will see this column edit where you can click and start configuring. It will open the menu as I'm showing right now. So this query builder that opens lets you define trademark name parameters with contains, starts, ends, equals, certain spelling. You can use wildcards with it. I have a simpler example over here. You can use presets. Here you have a little screenshot of that option that allows to define the rules that are applied to the query, which truncations are allowed to the word structure. You have word count restriction, where you can define the length of your term. And of course, you can connect all of these options using and or not the operators. So with that, actually, you can create multiple queries for the same watch and activate all of them together. When you do that, when you click on Add Query button, it appears here in this display. And when you click this little triangle icon, the menu unfolds, giving you a preview of what results can potentially be pulled with a watch like this. So it helps you to verify your strategy. Once parameters are saved for a watch, this setup goes through Markify support validation. To be transparent here, the goal is simply to ensure that the configuration follows the principle of one brand, one watch. We do not really evaluate whether your query is the most optimal, only whether it is coherent. So please make sure to use the preview. And then as soon as the configuration is validated, your monitoring scope updates according to those settings. So we hope that you will like this feature. Now this one is about bulk import, which is the quickest way to upload many watches at once. Instead of setting up each watch manually, you can list the trademarks and all their parameters in an Excel file and import them directly into your watch portfolio. For that, the system provides sample templates, and it is always best to download the latest version before you start preparing your file. Wordmark and image watches must be kept in separate lists. As you know, there are two separate modules and they will be loaded accordingly. And each row of data in your Excel becomes a separate watch. When we speak of the word marks, there are two ways to prepare your upload. You can do an import by name, which means that you fill out the watched name, database, and classes into your Excel, or you can import by number. In that case, the us knowing the trademark number allows the system to automatically pull remaining data from the database. This is often faster, although sometimes you will need to confirm which of the trademarks is the correct match if there are several matches with kind of the same number in different databases. At the same time, for image watches, you have 3 options for the upload. Again, you can import by number, which fetches the logo and trademark data from the database automatically. You can do an import by image URL if the link will point to the publicly accessible image files, or you can actually, and this is rather recent, do the import using the actual image files where you list the names of those files inside the Excel and upload Excel together with the zip archive of those images into the system. In all cases, when you do that and you upload the Excel, you will have a preview, as here on the screen, that ensures that the columns are mapped correctly, and then you can add the watches to your account. After uploading, you simply add them to the cart. It's also one click. There is an option called Add All to Cart, and you activate them as usual. Recently, we have added more options here to this upload, and you will see new columns that are displayed here at the bottom right corner of the screen. So now you can use this extended client label for customers' contact details, just what we were speaking about before. You have option for exception rules to be added from the Excel and auto email rules. So you can use all of them in bulk import. As for the auto email rule settings, your input will be very simple. You actually see the example on the screenshot. We'll just need to know the email subject and recipients for send out of the report. Please keep in mind that you can actually also configure the report template in your account before you start uploading the data. So you can still have your logo, all of your contact details, any other preferred parameters, and you just use the option there in the menu that allows you to save it as your default template. And then this default template will be used with the recipients that are specified in the file. So we also hope that this new addition will help you with the setup in a more effective way. So here we move to the part about reviewing watch results. And as we keep adding more and more options to our watch reports, it is important to be able to customize what you see. Top navigation of your report here allows switching between the weekly, which is default, monthly, and custom periodicity. And right below this menu, add the report date. You have a drop-down that lets you switch between the reports. You can also use color tagging there to highlight the reports that have been already created or already cleared, or those that might need extra attention. Below that, you have statuses, a menu that works like filter. So if you'd like to skip new filings, for example, just as on this screenshot, you can simply untick the checkbox. We'll still keep sending those results, but they will be filtered out, and you can see them again if necessary. Similarity level switch allows to determine how far the similarity in your report goes. Again, this is a filter, so you can change the setting at any time. And as for the results, you can see that they are displayed as a spreadsheet with 2 sections by default, with watched parameters to the left and results to the right. If you click on custom columns link, you can adjust the columns in their sequence. We actually recommend checking them once in a while. Rather, new columns that you will today find there are, for example, the countdown to a position deadline, international applications indicator, POCA score, distance score. So it can make sense for you to think whether you want to see them. Moreover, there is a new additional little icon that is called custom controls. And in fact, what it does, it allows you to hide this top menu. Once you are satisfied with your layout, it can clean up the view for you a bit further. As for filtering watch results. Here we also have a new feature that we hope will be useful in your work. Actually, when you look at the filters, you can adjust any of them by clicking on the filter or remove using the red cross icon. And the main options here include client label filter to review results for one client category at a time, goods and services filter, where you can apply your keywords, and a wider set of general filters covering almost every trademark parameter. You have watched mark, new mark, owner, representative, dates, classes, databases, risk levels. So the possibilities are very, very wide. The new feature that we recently launched allows saving your favorite set of filters into a library called filter templates. This is actually what this screenshot is about. So it's especially useful for cases when you need to switch between different filter configurations for viewing certain watch results. Let's say for one of the clients, you would use one set of keywords, trademark name restrictions, databases restrictions, but then for the other customer, you would have to switch for entirely different combination of filters. This is what this feature solves. And the implementation is very simple. You just apply all the necessary filters, normally as you use your filters, and then you click here on filter templates, give this configuration a name that will be easy to recognize, and save it. And further on, you will be able to select the necessary set of filters directly from this library, as you see over here. For reviewing watch results, we have launched a new feature that indicates previously reported identical conflicts. You can see in some of your reports this clock icon, like here, and when you click it, the menu opens that specifies the history of previous results that were reported. You can see that actually in the last two columns that this overview gives, you can see whether those results were selected by you previously, or maybe they were hidden with arrow hide functionality. So it can give you an idea also if you applied any action to them. Another feature that is not yet released, but very soon will be, and it is over here on the slide, is a blacklist option, where you can remove certain spellings of results from a result list, either entirely with this option, add a trademark to the blacklist, or in combination with a specific owner. So this action will affect current, old, and new reports, filtering out the unwanted results. When using this feature, your results will be more and more curated with time based on your individual instructions. The screenshot at the bottom here shows that it will still be possible to see all the blacklisted watches and even revert the setting if necessary. So please stay tuned for this one. We'll let you know when it is launched. And we hope that it will be really useful for your watch jobs. For our customers from pharmaceutical industry, or those working with them, we hope that you'll appreciate the POCA score indicator that we added to Markify Watch reports. Please use the drop-down located in the new mark name to select POCA option, and results will be sorted accordingly. By default, the column with POCA will be added to the far right of your results spreadsheet over here, but you can move this column, hide it, display permanently if, again, you use those custom column options, which I'm talking about today a lot. We have also redesigned the created reports section for your trademark watches, and it now lists both your latest word and image watch reports together, and it allows merging compatible reports. This navigation also allows filtering by report type or name, so you can easily find the necessary one. And it allows you to merge the report results. It is applicable for all except for zip files. So for that, you just need to select the ones that need to be combined, like this, and click on the merge button, and the system will create a new merged file. Especially that will be good for those watches for combined marks where now you can have one consolidated report. With this, we switch the topic just a little bit, because to help you identify when this DIY approach may fall short, there are key situations where involving our watch services can become the most effective solution. That would be if you have limited time or internal resources, when your team is stretched and quick validation is needed. If you're dealing with large or complex watch portfolios and high volumes increase that manual workload or risk of oversight that you have, or if you have high noise or tricky watches. If you feel that workflow requires advanced filtering, prioritization, or deeper analysis, we do have a team at 𝐓𝐫𝐚𝐝 who can help you with this. And actually, what you will get from it is the combination of AI and expert team, as intelligence pre-selection service will be combining Markify algorithms with analyst expertise. You will have focused monitoring, which reduces irrelevant hits by 95%, ensuring only meaningful results. It still has global coverage, of course, as Markify product, same with the pre-selection, 190 plus databases that we cover. You can have tailored setup, custom parameters by jurisdiction, logo type, or specific brand characteristics will be taken into account. And there is a dedicated collaborative platform there where you can filter, review, and follow up on results with your internal team or external counsels. Additionally, there could be on-demand consulting to our network or independent IP attorneys that we have. With that, I will be moving just in a moment into a Q&A session. So you just still have one more moment to list your question if you like, please. And we'll look at what we have here. Okay, I see one. I cannot find Boolean watch in my account. Yeah, this is normal. Completely, because for that you need to open custom columns and tick that checkbox. So when you do, you will see the feature and you will be able to use it. So just go to the custom columns. I repeat it here for different purposes. Always good to see what the options are there. Okay, and then there is one more. I see. Can my previous watch report be updated? Updated, I guess it's for new results here. So like normally each week when we post these reports to your accounts, it's only unique results, only new trademark information, those filings or publications. We do not go back and change anything in those reports. The data will be stored as it is. So if it says new filing and it was a few months ago, it will remain like that. But what you can do, if you like, is if you click on that result, on that trademark, the next page that opens with a full record, that one is constantly updated. So with that, you can recheck if anything has changed. That can be one thing. And another thing, just I'm thinking out loud since I mentioned new filings, if it gets published later, we will show it to you again. So on that stage, we'll capture it once more. But otherwise, there are no repetitions between your reports. We do not go back and change anything, which also kind of secures your process. So this is the way it works. Okay, I think it was the last question and we're a bit over time, sorry. At the end of the session, we would like to mention again that our dedicated support team is available to assist you throughout your Markify journey. Right on the slide, you can see our channels of communication, so feel free to reach out. And actually, the link at the bottom here that goes to our knowledge base, it includes, I guess, even more information that we covered today, because it will be a complete user guide for your Markify usage, and you can also check it if you like. Thank you for joining us this training. Looking forward for next sessions. As always, you will be informed about next events by email. Thank you again and have a nice rest of your day. Bye.